Hello, Cansters. Welcome back to this channel. And I hope you had a very blessed Christmas and also a wonderful New Year. I also pray that every one of us this year will enjoy a better, brighter, happier, healthier 2021. I'm sure God will protect us and take us through. So today is the 8th of January, 2 months after the passing of Perryn. She left us on the 8th of November. I miss her very, very much. I think of her every day. I know some of you the same, all right? It's difficult, but God, we just keep trusting God that God has a better plan for us and for her. The last the last episode was on Pamela. When she was studying in New Zealand, remember? So let me continue on that. And Pamela, my firstborn, now we come back to her story first. Okay, Pamela schooled in New Zealand. She finished her college and then she finally went to take her master's in New Zealand. So all the few years, quite many years actually, right? That she studied there, she enjoyed really a good time. She was a very mediocre girl, like I know you understand what I mean. In Singapore, when the marks are like average, and when she went to New Zealand, I think the place is conducive and there was no pressure. She did very well. So she finished with her master's, and of course she had a wonderful time in New Zealand. So when she was in New Zealand, quite few friends went to visit her because I think New Zealand is quite a far off place for most people, and Pam has never hesitated to take them all around. And when I say all around, it's really around New Zealand. And she have driven many times round and round New Zealand. She's familiar, and she's very adventurous. All right, this girl, she's very adventurous, and yet she's also quite private. And she has a big heart too. So one episode I remember when she was in New Zealand, she had a massive car crash. It was, I think, on the highway or something. The car was so badly damaged, but just thank God, God just protected her. She no casualties, no one was hurt. Both cars were bad. She was driving a Honda Prelude at that time, which was a very sturdy car, and yet it was so badly damaged. I just thank God that all the time God has preserved her, even though she was so far away. And she doesn't come back to Singapore. She only comes back during her break time, once a year max. But she really know how to max out her time as well. She knows of her body condition very well, and she make every day count. So every day for her is an adventure, a brand new day. So she has done many things in New Zealand. New Zealand, they're so adventurous. She has done some skydiving. The only thing I told her to not do was bungee jumping, because I don't think her body is able to take that kind of shock. So and she didn't do that, not in my knowledge. And over there she also met many good friends who they kept close together. Of course, she met Teresa Ling, her very close friend, all the way from that time, since they used to travel together. And Teresa really took care of her as like a mother, so, in New Zealand. So she was so blessed. It's really God's grace. We put her there, and God just provided all the way, not only in finances, but in a good family. And when she chose to get out from the family so that she can experience hostel living or experience renting an apartment on her own, and she did everything by herself, very independent, and that's how she learned, I guess. So for parents, my advice to you is the best education you ever give a child actually is to put them overseas. They will learn automatically, and they will make decisions, right? And I think that part of it is, sometimes as parents it's very hard to let go, but if you allow them, they can do it. So Pam is a very, very petite, very you know, like a quiet girl, but she actually is very courageous. From the time she knew of her health condition, I think she has lived every day like no tomorrow. So she maxed out her life. She had a wonderful time. She traveled a lot, even in New Zealand, round and round New Zealand. Finally, after she educated, and then she said, "Mom, you know, I want to work in UK." Suddenly, from the south up to UK, I said, "Oh wow." I said, "Okay, you know, I'm always supportive to my children, whatever they do, except, you know, of course, naughty things. Huh? I cannot say yes. I cannot condone. So she went to UK. She worked as a headhunter. She enjoyed her time in UK, and she traveled a lot more in UK because there was an opportunity for her to travel all around Europe. So eventually, she clocked over 50 cities in her lifetime. She had an amazing life. You know, she worked hard, she played hard. So I was very happy, very glad for her life. So that's why, although her life was short, only 37 years, but it was meaningful because along the way, she also impacted a lot of lives. People looking at her condition, they complain no more, right? And she gave a lot of encouragement to those around her. So on her passing too, many friends from all over the world, they came for her memorial. Well, I think I have to accept, all right? Acceptance is not denial. I'm just accepting the fact that God has a special purpose, especially for me, for my children. Both of them now, they are in a happier place, all right? I just keep trusting God, and I know that He will lead me on with more things, more wonderful things. So I'll leave you here. I'll talk about them. Two beautiful girls, isn't it? Just like to show them off. So I'll see you another time. You take care and have a very blessed weekend.